Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome back to EmpowHer Wellness. I want to begin today with a question that might feel a little uncomfortable to most of you. Bea, have you ever loved someone so deeply that you forgot yourself in the process? You kept, giving your time, your energy, your care, believing that one day they'd finally see how much you love them. But instead of feeling closer, you start feeling invisible. That ache, that quiet exhaustion, that exact pain, is what we're going to talk about today. This episode is about why overgiving just feels like love until it doesn't. Because behind every woman who overgives, there's a story of a little girl who learned that the only way to be loved was to earn it. When you were young, maybe, you just sensed some tension at home. Maybe your mom was sad, or dad was angry, or people just didn't talk about their feelings. And as children, we are very, very intuitive and very sensitive to feelings. And somehow, your little innocent heart, it just decided, if I can just be good enough, calm enough, helpful enough, maybe everyone around me will be okay. So you became the peacemaker, you became the caretaker, you became that emotional adult in a house full of wounded children. And that's where begins in childhood, when love just feels inconsistent. The nervous system just learns that safety equals giving. We grow up confusing self abandonment with devotion. So, when as adults, this pattern just repeats. We overextend in relationships, we mother our partners, we give more than we receive. Not because we want to be martyrs, remember that, but because, deep down, we're still that little girl trying to keep love from leaving. So, this overgiving gives us that temporary high. It makes us feel needed, useful, worthy. And every time someone says, wow, you're so caring, the inner child, gets a hit of validation. But underneath all of that, there is fear. Fear of what? Fear that if I stop giving, will they still stay? That's why, it feels like love, because giving keeps the connection alive, even if it is like one sided. But slowly something changes. You start, noticing your energy is depleting. You start craving reciprocity, but feeling guilty for asking. And love that was once, which once that felt so expansive, it starts to feel so heavy, because love that costs yourself is not love, it's conditioning. It's the nervous system replaying an old story. When love is balanced, remember, it nourishes both the hearts. But when the love is wounded, it's one heart that keeps bleeding to keep the other alive. Painful, right? I want you to remember, that your womb and body are your first message systems, messengers. They always know before your mind does. Overgiving doesn't just exhaust your emotions, it shows up as fatigue, hormonal imbalance, resentment, or even just simple backache, because your body is just, whispering to you, hey, you're carrying what isn't yours anymore. So, in energy medicine, we say that when the feminine gives without receiving, her creative fire just dims. So, her womb just closes for protection. That's when, joy disappears. And that's when you start feeling like you're living for everyone but for yourself. So, if your body feels tired, if your heart feels unseen, it's not because you're broken, darling. It's because you have been loving from depletion, not from wholeness. So, healing begins when you stop running from that ache, and just sit with it. Just sit with it. And, maybe just take a journal and start writing. Express your emotions. Ask yourself, why do I feel unsafe to receive? The answer sometimes may come as tears, sometimes it may come as anger, sometimes it's just silence. And that silence, it's that deep realization that you were never, never meant to carry everyone else's healing. So, how do you start transforming overgiving into empowered love? Step one, or just a suggestion one, you first pause before you give. Ask yourself, is this gift of love coming from fullness or from fear? If it's from fear, just wait, breathe, and center. Number two, reparent your child, the inner child in you. Close your eyes and tell her, you don't have to love from that space of earning love. You don't have to earn love anymore. You're already enough. Yeah. Then practice receiving daily. Let someone hold the door open for you. Just say yes when help is offered. And most importantly, don't brush off compliments. Let them just land. If someone says, hey, you're wearing a beautiful dress today, say thank you. Instead of saying, oh, yeah, my husband gifted it to me, or my mom gifted it to me. Oh, yeah, this color, I never had. No, nobody's asking for those explanations. It's looking beautiful, it's looking gorgeous because you're wearing it and you deserve that compliment, period. And number four, let your womb rest. Just let your womb rest. Every night, just spend some time with yourself. Put your hands on your lower belly and whisper. It's safe to give less and be more. You don't become selfish. Because true love, dear one, doesn't need proving. It flows in both directions. It nourishes as it gives. I want you to know overgiving is not your flaw. It was your survival skill, cope up mechanism. This is how your inner child tried to keep love from leaving. But remember, you're not the child anymore. You're a woman now, wise, powerful, whole. You don't have to trade your energy to feel safe. You can give and still keep your center. So today, let this be your mantra. My love is sacred. I give from overflow, not from emptiness. So if this message touched you, leave me a comment below. What's that one area of your life where you're ready to stop overgiving? And if you're walking this path of reclaiming your feminine power, subscribe and share this with your sister and keep journeying with me. Also, I have one-on-one session slots open for inner child healing. If any of you are interested, reach out to me in through Instagram, DM me on Instagram, or just shoot me an email. Everything will be in the details will be in the description box. All right, because your softness, it deserves to be protected, and your love, my dear, deserves to be received. All right, this is Suchi from EmpowHer Wellness, reminding you giving doesn't make you worthy. Being you already does. Until next time, this is Suchi signing off. Bye bye.